Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. Oh, man. I have to give you guys an update on this case that happened out of Miami, Florida, where those 3 young people were being charged as an adult for assaulting a very young victim. And this one's diabolical, guys, because unfortunately, we get to see exactly why these 3 young men are in the predicament that they're in. We get a sneak peek of their home life, of the adults who brought them into the world and who are responsible for teaching them right and wrong and morality. When you see the way that these adults conduct themselves, it will make perfect sense to you why these young people could make such a diabolical mistake, such a lapse in judgment that will not only traumatize a young woman for the rest of her life, but will soon ruin their own lives for the rest of their lives. Because, ladies and gentlemen, these young men have been charged as adults, and they've just started life out. And for what they did to that young girl, they're going to get massive numbers. They will walk the streets one day. They're not getting life in prison. They'll walk the streets one day. But they will walk the streets when they're middle-aged men in their 30s and 40s. Their youth has been robbed from them by their own hands. Now, we're going to jump into this. Make sure you hit the like button, support the channel. This is going to be a rough one. Toward the end of the show, we're going to be going to some extreme details that have not been reported widely yet. We've got that detail for you where we're going to really run through this. I'm going to stay with this case. I'm going to get you guys more information. We're going to get court documents, etc. Because remember, they've removed these young people from juvenile court to adult court, which means we now have access to these files. We will be able to have access to these files because it's happened in Florida, and they have the sunlight law, sunset law, I don't know, whatever. The bottom line is Florida gives the information. So we're going to stay all over this case. All right, let's jump into this. This first one, we're going to show you what the father has to say. 2 segments of what the father has to say about one. Well, they're not related. It's 3 separate young people. And throughout this presentation, I'm going to be using words like young people, young as whatever, because of the nature of the perpetrators and the victim. YouTube is going to come down hard on us, guys. They're going to come down hard on us, so I have to watch my words, so please excuse me in advance. Don't nobody in the chat. If you tell me in the chat, oh, you know, she's not a young woman, she's only a teen, I'm going to block you, because I'm telling you right now, I'm saying those words simply because I have to respect the YouTube terms of service. They're not words I want to use, it's words I have to use, okay? So we're going to show you that, then we're going to show you the aunt, and this is going viral on the internet, but it hasn't gone mainstream yet. When the subcultures of the internet is going viral, the aunt talking about the victim and why her nephew is innocent. This is insane. Let's jump into it.
Well, court was brief today, but afterwards, emotions were running high with one of the families of the boys being charged as an adult.
It's not true. He's on 12.
That's the mother of 12-year-old Josiah Jones screaming at anyone who would listen after today's court hearing as her son faces charges as an adult in a case involving the rape of a 12-year-old girl.
I don't care if they get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years. Guess what? I'm going to always feel like as a mother, as a woman, I'm going to always feel like it's not enough.
That's the mother of the victim. So she's saying, I want them to get time, but it'll never be enough for what they did to her kid. And we understand why she feels that way. That's her child. Let's keep going.
The girl's mother speaking to Local 10 recently saying she just wants justice for her daughter. According to police, the girl was leaving a friend's home when she encountered the boys near a community garden in Overtown. Investigators allege 13-year-old Nelson Nunez raped her.
Guys, when you hear the details of what this young man did, it's going to blow your mind. Like, this kid, his whole home life needs to be investigated, ladies and gentlemen. Like, they made a monster, literally. And it pains me to say that because of his such young age. But he's a monster, a true dyed-in-the-wool, homebred monster. Let's keep going.
12-year-old Josiah Jones and Xavier Tyson, who was 14 at the time, restrained her. Police say Jones put rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming. All 3 boys are being charged as adults. The victim says it went on for about 30 minutes, and the boys stopped when they heard her father calling her name. In court today, attorneys for 2 of the 3 boys...
Let me go back here real quick because, oh man, time be flying. This kid, the one whose parents is screaming, it's not true, he's only this age, and all that crap. He put rocks in her mouth. This is the actual assaulter. This kid right here, Nelson, is the actual assaulter. Xavier held her hands down. He decided he wanted to put rocks in her mouth to shut her up from screaming. Insane, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Kimberly Bridges, $10 super chat saying, in case it's demonetized. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Yeah, no wishful thinking here. We already know what's going to happen with this stream. Let's keep going.
In court today, attorneys for 2 of the 3 boys arrested in this case formally entered not guilty pleas, requested jury trials, and invoked discovery requiring prosecutors to turn over all evidence. They also argued their clients, Jones and Nunez, should not be in adult jail.
At this point, you have a 13-year-old kid sitting in jail, and me and I think my co-counsel, the lawyer for the co-defendant, we both will be fighting hard to get our clients out of jail.
As for Jones's father, he tells us the allegations against his son are not true.
A young black man that was visiting Miami. It was with the wrong 2 kids, a 15 and a 14-year-old. My son is 12 years old and has a father that takes care of him. These allegations are bogus.
So he had to bring race into it. But let's keep going.
Now, the judge did schedule a status hearing for March 18th. We'll continue to stay on top of this case.
I mean, I guess when you fail your son, he's like, I'm in my son's life. Yeah, you could be, but are you doing a good job? When you fail to teach your son to respect human life, when you fail to teach your son to respect other people's body autonomy, to respect other people's dignity, yeah, I guess all you do have left is the race card, but let's keep going.
Update you with any new developments. For now, reporting live in Miami, I'm Isabella Martin, Local 10 News.
All right, let's go to the next exhibit here. And then I was going to play this snippet here because this one showed what I just showed, but I found it, so I don't need to play that anymore. All right, so now I want to show you guys the aunt. I want to show you the aunt's statement. This is going to blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen. The aunt's statement on how she feels about this is so insensitive, so diabolical. Something has to be mentally wrong with this family. Listen to this.
Spanish Honduran, he don't give a fuck.
I just want to let you know that this is another reason why I told you guys about possible the D word from YouTube. We don't even want to say the word to help them. She has a really nasty mouth because she's an ignorant person. That's just a fact. And so she does not have a vocabulary that will allow her to express herself without using foul language and screaming. Because in this great country that we live in with freedom, people who don't have 2 brain cells to rub together are able to procreate. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. America, freedom. But this is the price of freedom, ladies and gentlemen. This right here, this woman is the price of freedom. Listen to this woman, and you'll understand exactly why I'm being so harsh when you listen for yourself.
Savage. So he like, shit, you been talking about you wanted to do this to me. You finna, do me like this. So I guess he got aggressive with her, and she was like, oh, no, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna sleep with all of y'all. I'm only sleeping with him. So I guess whatever happened, while they was running the train on her, the lady who stayed upstairs.
Running a train on her.
The lady who...
Do you hear how she's talking about this young, very young victim? Yes, when they was running the train on her, mind you, she initially acknowledged that the victim said, I don't want to do it. She just glossed over that. She glossed over the fact that even in her twisted, backward, interpretation of the facts, if you can even call it that, because she twisted it so much, she acknowledged that the victim said, no, I don't want to do this. And then she skipped to, I guess, when they started running the train on her, well, how did we get from point A to point B? Because from your own words, she said, I don't want to do it. So how do we get to the train and the train is okay? Well, let's keep going.
Stayed upstairs, must have on her way down to check her mail, or you get what I'm saying, drop her garbage or whatever. She seen them, because how the building is made, where the lady who seen the kids is like right there, and the farm is right there. So you can look over her balcony and see everything was going on in the farm. So I guess she spotted them. So in the mix of her spotted them, she like, what y'all doing in there? So that's when she want to yell, y'all stop, y'all stop, y'all stop. But she went home.
So what she's trying to say is that the girl only said that she was assaulted because she got caught by this other woman. But that other woman, we're going to read that lady's statement later. But I got more for you after this. We're going to go into some detail. She never saw them. In fact, I dare say that from what I heard, I don't really listen. I give much more deference in these situations to women than I do to men, because maybe, and I'm not trying to be in any way insinuate, but men are stronger than women physically. We're not smarter. Obviously, look at all the mistakes that young men seem to make these days. But she might be thinking about her own self-preservation, because from her statement, she heard this girl screaming, but she didn't go investigate. She went back home and then she went on a balcony and screamed out, who's that screaming? But she didn't call the cops and she didn't go and see if she could help. But I'll give her deference, because maybe she's afraid that she might get hurt or overpowered by whoever's there. She doesn't know what she's walking into. It is what it is. But that woman never caught them. And based off of her statement and the investigation, those boys did not care that they heard her scream out. They kept the assault going. They only stopped the assault when they heard the girl's father screaming for his daughter's name. But let's keep going.
Never told her mama anything. Going on 2 days. She never told her mama anything. When the lady came to find out who daughter it was, she went and told the stepdaddy. So when the lady told the stepdaddy, that's when the little girl want to tell her mama. They dragged her from the park, they took her there, and they raped her. I ain't justifying nothing. Let me tell you something.
And listen, I gotta tell you this. Listen, the comments is not happening. She's speaking to a largely black community of her peers in her community. The people that she know. She doesn't have a social media following where she went live and everybody from all over the world just came to watch her. That's not how this works. People talk to their community first because they have a small community that's subscribed to them or is a part of their friend network, and then it goes viral afterwards. So if you look in the comments, the people in her community, they're not buying it. They're like, oh, hell no.
Oh, my God.
They're like, no, this is great.
Oh, hell no.
They're like, you defending this? This woman, Naomi McKinnon, says, so how rocks got in her mouth? You know, they're challenging her, and she doesn't like that because she thinks that these people is going to be on her side, but nobody could be on the side of this level of evil. Let's keep going. This one, Skylar Banks says, all y'all slow by. That girl was scream out for help, and you don't make sense. Let's keep going. Nobody is buying this crap.
And they raped her. I ain't justifying nothing. Let me tell you something. I ain't finna sit here and read y'all comment. I got on here to check her. If you gonna tell a story the right way. Don't get on here trying to make it seem like my nephew on a run or for none of that.
Now, she's talking about the victim's mother. That's who she's talking about right now. She's talking about the victim's mother, and by proxy, when she's trying to talk about the victim's mother, she's talking about the victim and blaming the victim. Blaming the victim. Let's keep going.
If he get direct file too, he already got a lawyer. But I know at the end of the day, your daughter ain't telling the truth. Your daughter only pressed the charges because you forcing her to press charges. Your daughter was never a virgin before she got touched.
Wow. That's a 12-year-old, guys.
So what? So what I'm supposed to sit here and say?
So what does, whether she's engaging in intercourse or not, what does that have to do with being forced to do anything? Listen, I've never had a case so far as a sex crimes detective where my victim was a V. Does that mean that any of the victims that I've helped get justice and sent guys to jail, the most I've gotten so far is 25 to life for a guy? Does that mean any of them are any less victims simply because they weren't pure? You couldn't sacrifice them to the gods when that monster violated them. No. What she's doing is she's using every single thing her small brain could put together to try and shame and justify what happened to that victim, and there is no justification for what happened. She should be ashamed of herself. Why don't you come on the show, ma'am? I got an invitation for you. Come on the show so we could talk about how diabolical you are, so you could try and make it make sense to us why anything you're saying makes any sense. Let's keep going. This is crazy.
All they ass need they ass whoop. I'm an old school mama. I beat ass. My oldest daughter, 19 years old, 20 years old. I don't play that.
And I hate when people talk like this, like it's a flex that you're physically abusive to your children. Like it's a flex. I'm an old school mama. I beat butt. If somebody did that to you, it'd be domestic violence. It'd be a big old crime and all that stuff. But it's okay for you to do that to the people who love you the most and respect you, that they won't hit you back. I have no respect for parents that raise children like this. I don't raise my kids like this, and they're on the honor roll. This is a flawed way of raising kids, and what it does is it perpetuates this abusive, unspoken domestic violence ritual that for people that look like her and me has a genesis on a plantation. If you look at other communities, they don't raise their children like that. Why? Because this comes from the plantation. This is plantation thought pattern right here. Because when you didn't follow rules, the master spanked you. So now that went down to your own children. Shame on her. Her mind and soul is still on the plantation. Unfortunately, now in this day and age, the master don't even have to tell you they're not going to teach you how to read. People like her elect not to know how to read, elect not to educate themselves, elect not to make themselves true adults who actually bathe in logic and discovery. She has no interest in logic and discovery. She's ignorant. She's content with her lot. And shame on her. Like I said, this is the cost of freedom in this great country. You get losers like this who can procreate. Let's keep going.
I'm not none of them mama that side with no child. When you right, you right. When you wrong, you wrong. I ain't justified what none of them did. But when you get on social media, you trying to make it seem like, oh, it's just one side, when in reality, you know the truth, and it's not that side. That ain't finna go down like that, especially when it comes to my family. How she know everything that happened and she wasn't there? Okay. Nobody got nothing to say?
Wait, I like this.
That
People
happened and
going
she
along
wasn't
for.
there. Okay.
This person, Imani Francis, says, you was there? Question mark. Even if she went there for one, she ain't asked for all of them to have X with her. Thank you. It doesn't matter how you flip it. It doesn't matter if this little young one wanted to go do this stuff. She's too young to be doing it. Those boys are too young to be doing it. But guess what? These things happen, especially when you're in these low-income communities with parents like this woman here. If she agreed to do something with one boy does not justify the rest of them holding her down, taking her without permission, and then putting rocks in her mouth to silence her. Nothing this person says makes any sense. And if she used the same logic for herself, she'd be coming to my office begging and crying for me to figure out her situation. She would never hold that same logic for herself, yet she's making that logic somehow suitable for a 12-year-old victim. Let's keep going. Makes no sense.
Nobody got nothing to say?
So this lady said, you sound stupid as
Like I
that.
said, exactly. Whether it's my nephew, right is right, wrong is wrong. I never justified what they did was right. At the end of the day, I told them they goofy. All y'all going out of that one little pussy, it's plenty of little young girls out here that's fast. I didn't even fuck with my nephew for doing.
Did you see what she said? She is nasty. She is a nasty person. Did you hear how she spoke about this young victim's private area? Wow.
What he did. Because I got daughters too. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying they right what they did. But when y'all get on social media and trying to say certain things that's not true, I ain't finna sit there and let you say nothing about my nephew. He's not on no run. He has a court date. He goes in on the 5th. That's the reason why the news saying he's not getting charged as a juvenile. If anything, you heard her say in the beginning, the other little boy didn't get charged. That's the other little boy that she was having sex with before. So how y'all not finna charge him? But y'all charging the rest. Y'all supposed to charge all of them that was there. It wasn't just them three there.
True.
It was about 5, 6, 7 boys in that.
You don't charge everybody. You charge the people who committed the crime against her. So I'm going to put it back here because this person made a really good point. Brianna Snow says, this is the R word. If she only wanted to have intercourse and consented to one boy, why did the other boy penetrate her? That's the R word. No is no. Don't matter how hot in the A she was, still wrong, simple. And that's the truth. It doesn't, first of all, that's not what, none of this is what the victim said. The victim said, I'm walking from my friend's house. This dude grabbed me and dragged me into this park. And I said no the entire time before we even got to an assault. When it was just him leading her to the park, she was saying no and trying to get away from him. But let's say in some diabolical imaginary world, she actually wanted to do something with one of those boys. That's the only person she consented to do it with. I never even heard of nobody putting rocks in a victim's mouth. I mean, these kids, they're doing stuff worse than what the most legendary serial rapists that we know in our history have done. Rocks in the mouth? What, do you want to kill her? What, her teeth all broken up because there's rocks in her mouth? She might have swallowed those rocks, got into her lungs. Like, what are we doing here? What they're doing is on a higher level than some of the worst rapists that we read about and hear about in pop culture. This is horrible. Let's keep going, man. This only gets worse.
Yeah, but y'all charging the rest. Y'all supposed to charge all of them that was there. It wasn't just them 3 there. It was about 5, 6, 7 boys in that field. So why is only them that's getting charged? All of them should get charged. Not just certain ones. But at the end of the day, like I said, she got on here and said something about my nephew is on a run. He's not on a run. He has a court date. He's going to court. Talk about running.
And that's all that matters to this woman. I have to set the record straight that my nephew is not on the run. He's going to his court date where the people of Miami have charged him with adult first-degree X crimes that might send him to jail for decades. Listen, forget about what he did. Forget about what he's facing. I just want to let you guys know he's not on the run. Okay, he's not on the run, but he's still allegedly a rapist. Let's keep going.
Bitch, don't play with me. Like I said, at the end of the day, his auntie got lawyer fee. So whatever lawyer fee I got to pay for mine.
What money you got? Come on. We got lawyers' fees. Okay, so you got the $50,000 to $100,000. It's going to take us $50,000 to $100,000 to defend somebody against a R charge. It's $100,000 to $500,000 to defend somebody against a schmurder charge. Does she look like? Listen, I'm going to stereotype her. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to stereotype this woman. Because I don't identify with her. She's not of my people. I don't let monsters into my circle. I don't claim monsters. She's a monster and she helped make a monster. She not my kind. Does she look like she got $50,000 to $100,000 to pay for her nephew to get a defense against what he did? Yeah, I think not. Let's keep going. She ain't down with me. Like what they say? What that rapper said? Not like us. She not like us.
He's straight. Long as mine's straight, my nephew straight, that's all that matter. I don't give 2 fucks. I could give 3-5 fucks of what she's saying or what the rest of y'all side with. Because at the end of the day, I'm not saying my nephew wrong, but at the end of the day, that's still my nephew. I still got to stand by his side. I still got to be his auntie. I still got to be the one to support them. Man, hey, Sherette, I'm not caring about what these motherfuckers saying. You know that, cousin. But that bitch got on social media talking about, oh, he's on a run. On a run from where? He has a court date. You want to see that? Let me show you what his lawyer talking about, boo.
Somebody said, girl, you not Betty Boop. Wilhelmina says, because she consented to the first one, dummy, the rest are her. You effing said it yourself, you dummy. Like, people are not trying to hear this lady. They not trying to hear her.
You see what that say, Tyson lawyer? You see what that say?
We don't care.
They are taking care.
Skylar Banks says, you need to be whooping your nephew, a-hole. Why Skylar? She rough. Skylar not playing.
To the grand jury on 3-5, sinking an indictment as an adult. So how he run away?
You know what I'm saying? I got mad love for all these ladies, these beautiful black women in this comment section on this video who are standing up for this victim and saying no means no. They not falling for this crap. They not falling for it. They not falling for it. This lady should be ashamed of herself. She on an island all by herself. She on an island all by herself. Blade Runner says, strategic, I have to leave. I can't watch this maggot. I'm dealing with a lot at the moment. No room for this monster and its mouth. Man, Blade Runner, first of all, I want to let you know we're praying for you, Blade Runner, because Blade Runner was in a bad accident, and a motorcycle accident, I believe. And so they're in the hospital recovering right now. So Blade Runner, we love you. We pray for you. You do whatever you got to do for your mental health, man, because you know you're definitely in a tough spot right now. But we know you're gonna make a speedy recovery, and we hope to see you on the next one. All right, Blade Runner. All right, let's keep going. But the show got to go on because we need to bring awareness to this nonsense.
How he running away? And this is lawyer. You don't like the fact that they let my nephew go? That's what you didn't like. So like I said, if you going to get on here and tell whatever you want to tell the truth, baby. Because at the end of the day, my nephew ain't on a run.
That's all you
he
care
go to
about.
court.
On a run. Mm-hmm.
Literally. Man, fuck you and suck my ass. Just know that.
Nasty. He just diabolical. Okay, now let's go to the articles. This is nuts. All right, first of all, I gotta say this. I'm reading to the YouTube gods. I'm reading an article on this case. I'm gonna try my best to censor it as best as I can, but you guys need to know what's going on. Your discretion is advised. Possibly trigger warning. Boys charged as adults in connection with the R of Overton, officials say. Let's keep going. Miami police say a group of boys took a young girl to a community garden in the city's Overton neighborhood as one of them R'd her for 30 minutes. Authorities said Josiah Jones shoved rocks in the girl's mouth so she couldn't scream, while Nelson Nunez abused her. The third boy, Xavier Tyson, is accused of participating as well. He was 14 at the time. While police arrested them on juvenile charges the next day, all three are now charged as adults following a grand jury indictment issued on Wednesday. Court records show that they were booked into the Metro West Detention Center on Thursday, and Jones and Nunez appeared in adult bond court on Friday, where a judge ordered them held without bond. So the judge said there's no way you could get out of prison because of the heinousness of your crime. Let's keep going. Tyson was initially believed Friday to be charged solely as a juvenile, but Miami-Dade prosecutors confirmed that afternoon that he was indicted as an adult. Police said a fourth boy witnessed the incident. He has not been charged. He's a witness. He saw it. He cooperated immediately, and he said that he did not help because he was afraid he was going to get beat up. And that's okay. According to the Miami Police Department, the grape happened at the Greenhaven Project Community Garden located near Frederick Douglass Elementary School. MPD arrest reports state that the victim was leaving a friend's house in Overton when she saw Jones Nunez and two other boys in a parking lot area. According to police, Nunez grabbed the girl and took her to a couch within the garden as Jones and the other boys followed. Report states that the victim told police that Jones and Tyson held her by the arms and legs, preventing her from leaving before Nunez started assaulting her. More details about the alleged assault came after a woman who heard a commotion and saw the girl in the aftermath of the assault had her son call the boy who witnessed it, according to the report. Police said she heard a recounting of the incident over the phone. So the boy, her son called one of the boys that was there. It was like, yo, what happened? And he tells, while it's on speakerphone, his friend, whose mother's listening, what happened. And this is what they listened. She partially recorded and described it to investigators. This is a good job that she recorded it. This is evidence. This is really good contemporaneous evidence from one of the perpetrators, or at least one of the witnesses that was there during the assault, recounting what happened. According to the report, the witness at the scene, after saying over the phone, "What's your mama seen?" So the boy immediately asked his friend, "What did your mama see?" It wasn't like that, recounted Tyson. He recounted that Tyson pulled down the victim's bra as the victim was yelling to stop and proceeded to play with her chest while holding her hands. Then he said that Nunez asked one of the boys, "You think I should put it in?" and then began assaulting her, the report states. This is what they said over the phone. Unbelievable. These are what these young people did. The victim began to yell, no, stop, it hurts. While she was yelling, Jones, this is Josiah Jones right here, the one whose father was like, "This is racist. You guys are charging my son because it's racist." And the one who's on is like, "Oh my God, no. You don't understand. She wanted it." Jones put rocks inside her mouth to shut her up as the assault continued for a half hour, the report states. Nobody's going to just open their mouth and let you put rocks in it. She was struggling. She was screaming. He was trying to smother her with rocks. I would dare say he should be charged with attempted murder. That's what's happening. Screaming, and he's trying to push with force the rocks in her mouth. He should be charged with attempted murder. Let's keep going. The woman said she went to pick up her mail. She heard the girl screaming, "Stop, no, I'm not playing. She told police, according to the report, that she went upstairs and asked who was screaming and got no response. Then she said she heard the girl's father, whom she knows, yelling his daughter's name. She should have called 911, but whatever. It is what it is. The victim stated that Nunez finally stopped when they heard her father calling her name, at which point Nunez, the co-defendants, and a witness all ran towards the opposite direction of the sound of the victim's father's voice, police wrote. A witness would eventually flag down an MPD patrol officer to report the assault, the report states, and detectives interviewed those involved. So now, the lady inside of that diabolical diatribe said that she reported a couple days later. Apparently, we see here that it was reported the same day, at the same moment. I want you guys to also understand that this case has been happening since June of 2025. But they were charged as juveniles in June of 2025. It's taken all this time to go through the courts where they could finally get a court to agree to charge them as adults. That's what the delay is. The delay was taking this from juvenile court to adult court. They didn't even go to trial yet. Just court hearings and the grand jury allowing them to charge them as adults. So they got permission from the courts first to charge them as juveniles, as adults rather, and then after that they went to a grand jury to get the charges official. It takes time to do that. because it's a big deal. There's no, DNA was done, sock kits were done. This young man's DNA was found inside of the victim. There's no disputing what happened. This is a slam dunk case. There's no maybe he did or maybe he didn't. It happened. And then they have an eyewitness that's testifying against the three boys. The fourth guy is the state star witness. So you have the victim who's conscious and witnessed it, all of the crimes that were committed against her body. She's the witness. She's a victim. Then you have the fourth boy who did not participate. He is a witness. Then you have the lady who heard the screaming, who had her son call one of the culprits, and then he put it on speakerphone, and the lady recorded him making a confession. This is a slam dunk case. The only delay in this case, the reason why we're talking about it now and we weren't talking about it in June of 2025 is because they were charged as juveniles in June of 2025. And now, finally, February, March of 2026, they're being charged as adults. Let's keep going. The boy who witnessed the crime would tell detectives, according to the report, that he did not intervene because he was outnumbered and was afraid of getting beat up. Prosecutors say all three boys are facing a false imprisonment charge, while Nunez and Jones are facing sexual battery charges. Nunez is additionally facing a kidnapping charge because he did not ask her to walk with him, like this lady in the previous video was trying to make it seem like. Like she voluntarily went with them because she wanted to do the naughty with one boy, but then everybody else tried to get something. That's not what happened. He kidnapped her. He took her forcefully against her will into that park. And that is why Nunez, is being charged with kidnapping, while Tyson is charged with lewd and lascivious molestation of a child. He probably ended up touching her or something like that through the course of the assault. And here's a statement from the Greenhaven Project. I don't know why nobody should even be talking about it. They didn't do nothing wrong. They usually keep that park locked, but they had construction going on and the construction workers left it open. Their statement is, the Greenhaven Project is deeply saddened by the unforeseen and unacceptable incident and stands with the victim and her family. As a community garden, our space is meant to serve the community by providing access to fresh food. Like many public community spaces, we recognize that spaces open to the public can attract both positive and negative activity. However, an opening caused by nearby construction activity created unintended access after hours, and this occurred during non-operational hours when the garden is normally closed and secured. Following an unauthorized intrusion into the space, we remain committed to serving the community. Sounds like they're trying to shield themselves from a lawsuit or something to me, but whatever. This is very, very sad stuff. We'll play this video, just hear what the news has to say about it, and then we'll call it a day. And I really want to thank you guys for supporting the channel and checking me out. Let's keep going.
Oh, we got rear-ended.
All right, let's go ahead and mute that bad boy while this ad is being played out. 2, 1.
To a very disturbing safety alert after a 12-year-old girl was raped in a community garden. Police say her attacker is barely a teenager, and he's not the only one being charged as an adult. Local 10's Christina Vasquez is live in Miami with the horrific details in this case. Christina.
And I do want to start with a graphic content warning. So if you have some young ones at home, just know that these allegations are very disturbing and some of the content here is troubling.
Police say for a 12-year-old girl in Miami's Overtown neighborhood, this community garden on a June evening became the scene of a horrific crime at the hands of.
So you're 12 years old? You're 13 years old?
2 middle school-aged boys.
You have a grand jury indictment.
This starts at the home, ladies and gentlemen. These young men are here because they have bad parents, bad ghetto parents, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to say that full-throatedly from the bottom of my heart. We saw it with our own eyes. These young people are here because they have bad ghetto parents. And the rest of their lives are going to be ruined because their parents did not do a good job raising them. Big shout out to everybody who's watching us. Please hit the like button, support the channel so we can get into the algorithm. We do appreciate it and we need the support. Let's keep going.
Now facing serious charges to include kidnapping as adults, accused of a violent act of sexual battery. The 12-year-old victim telling police as she was leaving her friend's house, 13-year-old Nelson Nunez grabbed her, forcing her onto a couch in a community garden. Another boy restrained her, she said, and as 12-year-old Josiah Jones put rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming. Nunez, she said, raped her. The co-defendants only stopping about 30 minutes later when they heard her father calling out her name.
And just minutes ago, we learned from the Miami State Attorney's Office that there is a third co-defendant, a 15-year-old by the name of Xavier Tyson, who is also facing the charges in connection that he has to this incident as an adult. And those include felonies of lewd and lascivious, as well as false imprisonment. This is a developing story, and we have much more for you coming up on Local 10.
So the oldest one is actually facing the least charges. He's probably going to get, probably probation or a year or two in prison. That Nelson kid, the Nelson and the Jones kid, they got a lot to worry about. Nelson is the actual attacker and Jones is the rocks in the mouth guy. They got some big problems.
That's our website. Reporting live for you, I'm Christina Vasquez, Local 10 News.
Just hard to break.
All right, this is a sad case. We will continue to monitor this case. Appreciate you guys immensely. Man, Twitter is filled with a lot of interesting stuff, but we'll keep working on it to get you guys some good facts and piece it together well for you. I'll see you guys on the next one. Please, please, please hit that like button on your way out the door. We do appreciate it. And big shout out to all my Patreon members who, unfortunately, YouTube won't give me a mechanism to shout you guys out, but you do exist, and you guys are integral to the show, and we appreciate you. Big shout out to all of our members who come in here day in, day out to support the channel. I know how hard it is for me to do this show, the amount of time and commitment it takes for me to come here and give you this show, but it's equally as hard for you to take time out of your day to watch me. It really is. You have your own lives, but yet you take time day in and day out to come and support my channel, to hear me speak, and to go on this journey with me. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are special to me. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.